I want to thank the government, and particularly the Treasurer. He knows that we've had these discussions several times, particularly about direct relief to our people, especially in light of the Russia-Ukraine war and its impact on living costs in our country. It is perhaps a sign of the times that we are making this decision on the eve of the last Parliament. But it is something that I think our people will welcome. There's been so many complaints about fuel, and we've seen bus operators go on strike, asking for greater increases in PMV fares. Last week when I was at home, I saw that our Provincial Transport Board was running around measuring distances between villages so that they could recalculate PMV fares. But I think it's important that we are shifting some of the revenues from that would normally go to Kumul Petroleum Holdings for this windfall in the high price of fuel. And we are now giving it directly back to our people. Mr. Speaker, I think historically the PNG government has never done that. This is the first time that I think we are taking a windfall from one part of the economy and giving it directly to our struggling public. So I wanted to commend the government for that in particular. This one will flow on to everybody. In fact, it should actually flow into the cost of goods in the shops. It should lead to them being reduced. There should be flow-on benefits just by us intervening in the fuel. And I think some of us made that intervention in the last sitting. A total of 611 million kina in relief to our people. The Treasurer has been at the forefront of a lot of criticism in this House. I think the government also. But I think many people forget that we are just coming out of a 2-year worldwide pandemic. If you care to check the stories coming out of China, for example, China is now under lockdown again because they've got another wave of COVID and their government has decided to shut it down. And so it's going to affect global supply. And when it affects global supply, well, obviously Papua New Guinea is going to be affected. And so in speaking in support of what the government has done, I wanted to speak more to our people, to say to them, look, don't expect quick fixes. Don't expect that Parliament is going to come and sit or the National Executive Council is going to make a decision to try to continue shifting money and somehow your life will get better with these pressures that are coming from the Russia-Ukraine war. They won't be. We know, if you watch the news, Poland is now getting its army ramped up. If Russia decides to attack Poland in the next couple of months, we are not going to have a parliament in session. We won't be able to, I'm not sure if we can call an emergency session to come in and make more concessions for our people. So these are the sorts of things that are totally beyond the control of government. But these are the things that affect us anyway. So one of the things we can do, you know, I noticed that we are going to reduce the tariff on ox and palm. Ox and palm is a very unhealthy food, Mr. Speaker. I note in our previous debate the comments from the good member for Abau, Honorable Pukatemu, and he spoke about us needing to look at increasing taxes on things like sugar. And whilst I'm happy that we're trying to give a lot of support to our people, we have to start looking at our own food production systems. We've got to be looking at how we can get more healthy food onto the tables as opposed to rice, flour, ox and palm and the likes. Our people have really healthy food in the gardens. And Mr. Speaker, incidentally, that's one thing we did in Sepik when we first started having the pandemic. We built a lot of food markets, and we opened up a lot of food markets. We encouraged our mothers to grow more local crops: taro, cassava, banana, yams, sweet potato, greens, and to bring them to the markets. And I think we need to be kind of thinking like that, but at a local level, whether it be with the governors or with the open members. We need to be making more healthy foods available. Because if this war continues, it doesn't matter what changes we make, the price of flour will continue going up. The price of rice will continue going up. The price of fuel, the price of fertilizer, they will continue going up. So with that, Mr. Speaker, those are my comments. And I'd like to commend the Treasurer, finally. Thank you for this relief for our people. Okay.